Alright guys, so today I'm going to be showing you my post-workout high protein plant-based meal. I know that's a mouthful. However, quality meal, very simple ingredients. It is plant-based, it is vegan, whatever you want to call it. I talk all this different stuff. Very simple to make. You can make it in bulk or you can make it daily, it's up to you. Taste delicious, and it probably can be combined with anything. So I'm going to show you guys how I prepare mine. Maybe you want to prepare it the same way, or just take things here and there, but let's get into it. All right, so today I'm going to be making a tofu scramble. I've got my tofu right here. I grabbed this from the shop. It's nothing special, just non-GMO soybeans, aka tofu. It's got 7 grams of protein for those who are concerned, and that's going to be what, 13% of your daily value. Calories per serving is 70. So yeah guys, this is tofu I'm using. It is firm tofu. I've tried some other tofus that are a bit softer, doesn't give the texture that we're looking for the tofu scramble. This in my opinion is like one of the better textures, and it tastes great. So yeah, we're going to use this obviously for the base of the tofu scramble. We're going to add some other things in. We're going to season it out real nice. Do not be scared of tofu, guys. Do not be scared of soy. It's not what you think it is. There's a lot of what's the word I'm going to say, misinterpreted information out there in regards to soy and tofu. I've been eating this for a while. One of my favorite go-to meals, and it's not that expensive. I'm not going to use the whole block because that would make a lot, and I don't need that much, but I'm going to take like a decently sized square. You're going to see what I'm going to do with it after that, so let's go. So I'm using a yellow onion, as you know, obviously the onion choice today. Red onions I prefer like raw in salads, so we're using a yellow onion or white onion. I think this is yellow. I think this is the yellow. I don't think this is the white one. Yeah, yellow onion. Obviously, just gonna dice that up. We've got some garlic as well. 1 clove of garlic. We ain't gonna overdo the garlic. Usually I would use garlic powder, but sometimes fresh garlic is nice as well. And then it's all the seasonings over here. I'm gonna go through each seasoning when I add it. Again, a very simple process to make it. Don't judge me on my knife skills because I just do what I can. You do what you can. So quickly, I'm just gonna chop up the onion very quickly. Nothing too crazy. I don't think I'm gonna use this whole onion. I think that should be enough. I'm not trying to overdo the onion. I ain't gonna pretend for the video like it's this crazy amount of onion that I'd be using. So that's all the onion we're gonna need. And then obviously the garlic clove. You've never seen a garlic clove before in your life. I know some people don't cook that often, so folks don't be really seeing what ingredients look like in their true form. They be seeing garlic powder, but have no idea what an actual clove of garlic looks like. Onions and garlic, very good for your health. Some people may argue otherwise, but for me, they've never steered me wrong. I did go off garlic for a little bit, but slowly added it back in the diet. It's nothing too crazy. I think it was originally a medicinal thing anyway, garlic. So there's always that. Some people argue that you shouldn't eat it every day, but I don't overdo it. I'll just say that I don't overdo it. So we've got the onion, we got the garlic, we got the pan already with the oil. I use coconut oil to cook my food in. Again, some people would prefer to use some other oils with some higher smoking points, or I think it's called a smoking point. I believe it is called that. So next phase, we're just gonna chuck the garlic and the onion in the pan. I do mine at the same time. I know some people, they will do the they'll do the garlic first, but I do mine at the same time, So let's just make sure all that is off there, into the pan. Simple. Use wooden utensils. It saves you from scraping up your pots and pan, guys. I used to be a fork user back in the day. It would scratch up the pots and the pans. So use a wooden utensil that saves your pans and pots, especially if they're expensive as well. You don't want to be replacing those. So that's going to be the base right now. So that's what we got so far. We just got that. We're going to rest that to the side.
Now, for those of you who haven't ever used tofu or had tofu on a regular basis or had it, you know, straight out of the packet, it usually comes with like, so well, it's usually like sitting in water or some sort of, what's the word? Yeah, usually water or some sort of solution, should I say. So when you're busting open the tofu, be careful, because, you know, there might be some water that spills up. But what I like to do is I will just use the water. So I'll just add the little bit of excess water, add that to the pan, so that when I add the seasonings in, the seasonings kind of assimilate a bit better. So this is what the block is looking like. Nothing too crazy, you know what I mean? Take a decently sized block. I don't overdo it. Like that square should be more than enough, guys. And now what I'm gonna do, don't worry, I'm the only person using this, and I washed my hands as well before. So if you're like, whoa, my man is digging his whole hand in there, it's all good. So what I'm gonna do now ordinarily I would fry this first, but for the purpose of the video, to make it, you know, more easily watchable, we're gonna take our block of tofu, and all you're gonna do, guys, is just crumble it into the pan. That's all you're gonna do. Just crumble it up into the pan like that, and it's gonna give it that sort of eggy, like scrambled egg looking sort of vibe. If scrambled eggs is something that you miss, then obviously this is gonna be a great alternative. So we're just gonna mash that up into the pan. We could go for a little bit more, but yeah, there's a tiny bit left in there. Let's just get this last bit right here. That should be suffice. That should be sufficient. So now we're gonna break this up like that, guys. And then we're gonna wash our hands again. First thing, we're gonna add some pink Himalayan salt. Now, sea salt is another very, you know, healthy option. Some people argue that it's better than pink Himalayan, but it's all about preference at the end of the day. It's all about availability and what your pocket will allow. So it's up to you, but just do your research. Next up, we got some paprika. Smoked paprika. You can never go wrong with a smoked paprika, guys. We'll go turmeric next. You don't have to do any specific order, but just for the purpose of the video, you know, make it look sexy. Then we'll add some black pepper in as well. We got a little cumin vibe going. Little cumin vibe. Mixed herbs. You know, what's in this? Mixed herbs. Thyme, parsley, and marjoram. If you say it correctly. Marjoram? Marjoram. I think it's marjoram. Anyway, we get some mixed herbs in there. Nothing too crazy again. And some crushed red pepper for a little bit of heat. This isn't really that hot, but I think it's supposed to be hot, but it doesn't seem hot to me. Pimienta roja. So that's the vibe we got going so far. That's all the seasonings in there and whatnot. But we've got to add a few more ingredients to make it perfect. So hold on 1 second. So we're gonna put this on a low heat just so things can cook nicely. We don't want it to burn. Tofu doesn't actually need cooking, but we want all the seasonings and stuff to, you know, to soak into it and cook it nicely. But the onions and garlic obviously need cooking. So we'll give this a nice little twirl around the pan, let all them colors come together, guys. Now, as I said, ordinarily, if I wasn't doing the video, I'd put the onions and garlic, let them cook first, you know, let them get a bit of browning, a bit of color, a bit of, you know, caramelization. Then I'd add in the tofu and the seasonings afterwards. But for the purpose of this video, to make it, you know, a little easier for you guys, we're gonna do that. So we can turn this fire up a little bit. So I do have some alfalfa sprouts I usually use as well. This is frozen because it was in the back of the fridge. It hasn't been opened yet. So I'm gonna wait for that to melt a little bit and then add those in. And then we got some frozen peppers. I love peppers in my tofu scramble. Now, if I could do fresh, I would do fresh, but fresh peppers here are very, very expensive. So the frozen is usually the better option. So we're just gonna take some of those. I ain't gonna do too much. Mixed frozen peppers. Now guys, if you can't do fresh vegetables, frozen is always the next best option at the end of the day. This is starting to cook nicely now. Just making sure everything is evenly spread throughout. Doing its thing. I don't know if these alfalfa sprouts are gonna defrost by the time comes, but we're gonna try and make it happen, man. So if I do add them, obviously I'm gonna show it. If I don't, then just gonna have to imagine that I did add it. So it's all good, but this doesn't take too long. This takes about maybe like 5 minutes, if that, just to all cook down nicely. Make sure all the seasonings are you know, dissolved and infused in the tofu. Few minutes has passed. It's really coming along nicely. The colors are there. You can smell the seasonings, the flavors. I'm gonna attempt to add some of this alfalfa sprouts. Very good for you. Iron, vitamin C, calcium, vitamin A, and yeah guys, good amount of, or decent amount of fiber in there, a bit of protein as well. So alfalfa sprouts, make sure that you get your microgreens in, guys. Very important, very, very important. This is extremely frozen. I mean, it's so frozen that there's icicles on it. But anyway, we're still gonna add it regardless. We want the microgreen benefit. So we're just gonna make sure that we stir in these alfalfa sprouts properly. Now, usually they do break up a little bit easier, but I think where it got frozen, they're kind of stuck together, but it's all good. Still gonna taste all right. Still gonna give the texture that we want it to give. We just kind of let it just pick up a bit more of the heat and break it up a little bit more. But it's coming along nicely, man. It's looking quite splendid. This is an optional ingredient. I got some vegan cheese. If you're not a cheese bandit, then don't worry about this. But I like some cheesy flavor in my food. Cheese was one of the hardest things I had to let go of when I started to go plant-based. So we're just gonna add a generous amount of the plant-based cheese on there. This is follow your heart. Soy-free, vegan, lactose-free, all that other stuff. Good source of calcium apparently. Yeah, and the ingredients ain't too crazy. It ain't the best, let me not lie. It's not the best, but it's not too crazy. Get the cheese on there now. Again, that ain't gonna take long to melt. We're just gonna combine all that together, and then that should be done after that.
That is it, folks. This is the post-workout meal. Tofu scramble. I got some dumplings. Usually I would do some bread or something, but I had some fried dumplings. If you're Caribbean, obviously you know about the fried dumpling. And then I got some plantain, platanos, whatever you want to call them. Got some of those on the plate as well, guys. So that is my post-workout meal. Again, decent amount of protein, carbs, veggies, fiber. I would do some avocado as well, but the avocado I got is looking a bit, looking a bit crazy, looking a bit like it's been through the wars. So we didn't add that on the plate, but I will add that on the plate as well, just for a bit more balance. But that is the meal, guys. Wonderful, easy option that you can do. Especially, as I said, if you're transitioning and you like your scrambled eggs, you can always go with a decent tofu scramble. I think out of all the sort of vegan or plant-based scrambles, the tofu scramble always hits the best for me. I've tried some other ones, they're not really up there like that. But a simple meal, guys. Simple meal, keep it healthy, keep it tasting good, all the other stuff. I forgot to do the taste test, so let's see what this is tasting like, man. See that? Veggies, flavors, all that other stuff. All right, let's see. That's probably the best one I've made all week.
I'll be honest with you. That is probably the best tofu scramble I've made all week. I can't lie. That's hitting for sure, man. The perfect balance of flavors, man. Excellent, excellent. I'm gonna give myself a strong 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Would have been a 10 if the avocados on the plate, but we'll stick with a 9. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.